It's been a long time coming from the SC, South Carolina, baby. Sometimes it feels like the world is against me, 'cause I'm coming from heartache and pain.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Nail Genie SC. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a acrylic 101 session. So in front of me here, I have these practice cards. And I handmade these, I created these practice cards from using the paper in this nail color drawing practice book that I think I purchased this with a kit off of Amazon. If I can go back and find it, I will link it in the cards for you guys. But I just took a few sheets of these cards here and I laminated them. I purchased a laminator off of Amazon and I really like that laminator very much. It helps in a pinch. So I was able to create these practice cards to help me with either nail art drawing, gel polishing, acrylic as you see, doing gel application, hard gel application. But I like these little practice cards because it helps you to be able, before, just when I'm just hanging around the nail room and trying to come up with my next ideal, it helps me to put things down on this practice sheet. So I was playing around with this card and I'm taking off some old acrylic that has hardened up. And as you see, just pop it off, throw it in the trash can, and then you could take a wipey and wipe off your card, or I just took a dry blue towelette and I just wiped the card. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I like to practice my bead application on this card, as well as trying to keep my acrylic in the line. So for me, it's like practicing acrylic and learning how to keep it on the nail so much, as well as learning how to figure out my liquid to powder ratio with the product I'm using. So here I'm going to be using some Mia Secret pink color acrylic, as well as I think in my monomer dish I'm using right now, I think some Young Nails might be in that dish still. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys just what I do when I'm sitting around in my nail room. So here I'm using my number 10 Kolinsky brush, and I love this brush. I purchased this brush from my nail school, which she does have a website. I'm not sure if she ships or not, but I will leave her website in the description, guys. She has her own product line. It's called IBA, and I love her products. But however, I'm just showing you guys how I like to place a bead down. And you can use either one of those fingers. You can do them all. You can do one or two. But I like to just place the bead down and maneuver the bead around just to get that feel of my monomer. Also learning my liquid to powder ratio, as well as how to keep my brush clean. So guys, when playing with acrylic, it's so important. It's so many important steps when doing acrylic, right? So for me, it's very important for me to make sure that I keep the acrylic out of my brush. That's an important step for me. So I am picking up the bead, I'm turning the brush over, as you can see, and the brush is clean. So I'm able to lay that acrylic down and it releases from the brush. So I know that my bead is a nice bead. It's a medium-sized bead. It's not too runny. It's not too dry. It's just the right consistency. So I love these practice cards for stuff like that, learning how to do your liquid powder ratio, as well as keeping your acrylic in the guidelines or in the markers, as they say. And then smoothing out the acrylic, learning how to use the tip of your brush, the belly of your brush, and the heel of your brush. So I love these practice sheets for those reasons, and this is why I'm doing this video, because I know a lot of times we go straight to getting a nail tip or even a swatch stick, but we don't know that sometimes we can have what we need right in front of us, and we don't need to even use those products if not necessary. So if you have a scrap sheet of paper laying around the house and you draw your nail on it, you can practice bead placement on that, as well as just creating yourself small circles, and like small circles, medium circles, large circles, in order to practice your small bead, your medium bead, your large bead. So for me, for this number 10 brush, it's not much I can, it's the biggest I can get on this brush is 6 taps, I'm gonna say. That's how much monomer I can hold in my brush, and not, when I'm not draining all the liquid out of my brush to get myself a large bead. So we will, as we go on throughout this video, guys, you will see I did do the practice my liquid to powder ratio before I started this video. So if that's something you want me to do or you want to see, please let me know. We can do a video on that, as well as we can do a live. So our word definition for this video is tip cutters. It's specifically designed to not put pressure on the nail tip as it is being cut. So we all know that tip cutters are an important part of having in your inventory for cutting tips when you are working on yourself or working on your friends or working on your clients. You need a good tip cutter. So they are specifically designed to not put pressure on that nail tip as it is being cut. So sometimes we use these craft scissors, and you have to be mindful when you're using craft scissors on what style or brand or tip you're using, but we'll get into that in another video, because sometimes when you cut the tip, it can cause stress marks on the tip, which causes the tip to weaken, especially on plastic tips. So, but we'll talk about that in another video. So guys, I'm showing you here my silicone mat. So I know that most of us all have this silicone mat. If not all of us, then these mats are available on Amazon, Shein, and AliExpress, the main areas that we shop in. I purchased my mat from my school, which my director, she purchased the mats in bulk. So I'm not sure if she purchased them off of Shein, Amazon, or AliExpress, but she purchased the mats and we were able to purchase the mats from her. So I love this mat. I've had this mat and I've been out of school for over a year. So I've had this mat for over a year and I love my mat. So guys, what I'm doing here is I'm showing you guys different things, and on this mat it have 6 styles of nails, right? But here you only can see 3. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my acrylic and I'm using the Legacy Cover acrylic, which is a nude color, and I'm using the Legacy EMA low odorless monomer. And I'm just placing my bead down. So I'm doing it on a coffin style on my mat, right? So I'm thinking, okay, so I have a coffin tip and I want to put down acrylic. So I want to use this in order to keep in the guidelines of what a coffin, when I'm actually doing it on an actual practice hand or somebody's hand. So I'm going to play around with these beads. I'm going to lay the acrylic down. So I put my first bead, and I say my first bead went between where the free edge and the natural nail meets, right? Where the tip and the natural nail meets. Then I'm going to take another bead and I'm going to place it directly under that bead, so I can start patting it and clear out any lines of demarcation, bring the acrylic down, use my brush, use the belly of my brush, use the sides of my brush, use the tip of my brush to do any and everything I need to do in order to get this acrylic laid. So I'm not a person who do this 3 bead placement. I didn't learn it in school. My director did not force that on us. It was not mandatory here in my state to do a 3 bead method, long as you did a smooth application and you built yourself an apex. So your beads can be as small as you want them to be or as big as you want them to be, long as the end result is what it needs to be. Plus, you want to make sure you always keeping the product off your skin or off the client's skin or off your friend's skin or whatever. So here I'm practicing keeping my acrylic in the guidelines of this marker here. So I see this bead and I'm like, in my head I'm thinking, Jenny, where are you going to put this bead? Because it's kind of large and that's not what I was going for. So I put the bead down right above that first bead, but below the cuticle area. So I'm going to pat, and push up. So I'm going to push up to get it as close to the cuticle, but not at the actual cuticle. Because if I push too much to try to get it all to the cuticle, I'm just spreading that bead out and it's not going to help me when creating my apex. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to smooth it out to eliminate that line of demarcation as you see there. But it's not going to work because I'm playing around too much with it and I'm letting the bead dry too fast. And even though it's a low odor monomer, it's not a no odor monomer. So it still sets up pretty good. And so I'm just smoothing it out. But of course, it's not going to be perfect. It's all in practice. So this was not something I'm building a nail. What I'm doing is trying to learn how to build a nail by using my practice mat and how to place my beads. So here I'm just going to grab a small bead here to go at the tip. And if you had a monomer that's a slow set monomer, you can drop acetone drops into your monomer and that'll speed up your drying time. Or you could take one of the paper towels and just lightly damp the back of your bead to get some of that, not damp the acrylic, if you know what I'm talking about. Damp your brush down on the paper towel to pull just a little bit of that liquid out of it, and that way it won't be so runny when placing on a nail. So those are things that can help you those are helpful hints that can help you if you find yourself running into your bead is just runny, or I am using a slow setting monomer and it's not drying fast enough, but I'm not ready for the fast drying monomer yet because I'm just now learning how to work with acrylic. You can try different avenues, and acetone was one of those things that we could use at state board as well. We could drop some acetone in our monomer because at state board we had to use a low odor monomer. We couldn't bring in just a regular monomer because they didn't want the room full of monomer smell. They wanted you to have a low odor monomer. So of course when we was doing a sculpted nail, because we did have to perform a sculpted nail on a nail form, the nail wasn't drying as fast as the time they allow you to build the nail. So we learned about dropping the acetone into the slow setting monomer in order to speed up the drying time. So that is why I'm telling you guys that, because it's something I learned. Okay, so here I'm just taking another bead, and this is as if I was trying to build up the apex on the nail. So I just dropped the bead down in the center of the nail, and I'm just working around that bead. And I'm going as smooth as I can with light strokes, not really pushing hard or doing anything, trying to keep it in place, making sure it's staying on the nail and it's not running to the side. So that is what I'm doing here. And yeah, I like the way it's coming out. I like the way it's looking. So guys, if you have this practice mat at home and you never use it, you just have it sitting on your desk or you have it sitting to the side, pull out this practice mat and use it to help yourself practice with your acrylic beads and your gel application and anything that you use, poly gel, whatever you use, because you don't have to cure it. You don't have to cure your gels or your poly gels under the light, right? You just want to be able to set it up. You just want to know that you can do it. You want to make sure that you can. But even if you cure the gel or the poly gel, it'll still pop off the silicone matte just like this acrylic is. So it's not gonna stay. But like gel polish, I wouldn't cure my gel polish on the mat because then I have to put more acetone on my mat, which I don't think it'll destroy the mat. But I wouldn't, I don't cure my gel polish on the mat. I just use that as if I want to use the color. Just trying to figure out what color base I want to use or what colors will mesh well together. Even though knowing and having a color wheel is great, and but you have to know what colors go well with each other. And sometimes you're just trying something, right? And a lot of times I like to experiment, and I like to and I think on it, and I sit back and I think, okay, well, these colors go well together. Well, I know these colors will go good together, but let me just look and see how these colors go together in a set. Not on top of each other, but in a set. So like say I wanted to do an ombre nail. This would be a good practice to try my ombre. So trying a color and then doing a neutral nude color or your base color to ombre the nail. This mat is perfect for that. Then you have a DIY palette, this little square piece that's there. You have the DIY palette that you can mix colors with on this silicone mat, as well as these three circles here that helps you learn bead placement. So here, this is a small bead. I have a number 10 brush. So what I did was I am taking all of the liquid out of my brush, and then I'm tapping into my powder once to get my small bead. And this is with a number 10 brush, guys. So believe me, it matters when you're using your different size brushes. Anytime you're doing a small bead of acrylic, you want to pull all your monomer out of the brush. That way it helps you to create and get that small bead. So now I want to go with a medium sized bead, and I'm just going to take only the liquid out of my brush halfway, and I'm tapping twice into my powder to get this medium sized bead. So I'm just going to let the powder sit up on my brush. And I like when it's set up on your brush, you get that silky, shiny look to your acrylic and monomer. That means everything has polymerized. That acrylic and that monomer have met each other. Now they're married, right? Okay. So now I'm laying it down here on the circle, and I'm just spreading it out because, as you see, guys, I have a number 10 brush. My brush is those circles are way bigger than what my brush can hold. So this right here, just consistency right here for me with my number 10 brush is a medium bead. But if you want to fill up the circles just to have the practice, which what you're going to see me doing here, then you can. But what it is helping you learn how to keep your learning how to keep your product on the nail. So if you go outside of these circles, it's like going and letting the product get all over the skin, or it's dripping all over the nail, or or dripping, it's moving all over the nail. So this silicone mat helps me learn, as I've stated many times in this video, it helps me to learn my liquid to powder ratio, as well as keeping my beads and everything in the guideline. And as we get throughout the video, you will see me do a nail, and you're gonna see it's gonna take me so many shots to get this nail how I want. But I rather use as many beads as I need to than not use enough beads, or try to do something more than what I can do. You're the only person that know what you're capable of doing. You're the only person that know if you got it or if you need more help. It's totally you. And with everything comes practice. So what I'm saying here is, my brush is a number 10. So this circle is way larger than what my brush is gonna hold. So I am taking my liquid, and I'm just pulling out just the tip of my liquid. I'm not even pulling out even the tip. I'm just pulling out a small amount of liquid out of my brush. Then I'm gonna flip my brush and I'm gonna tap it in the powder. And that's 6 taps. I did 6 taps, and that's the largest bead I got. And usually if my brush was a size 18 maybe or more, maybe even a 14 or a 16 or more, I probably could have tapped the brush 3 times and got a large bead. But because the smaller the brush, the more you have to, some people drag, some people tap. The more I have to tap. The larger the brush, the less taps I need in order to create that large bead. But the monomer pull is always going to be the same. So whenever you're creating a large bead, you want to pull out just a small portion of your monomer. And I say at the tip. And then you able to get the bead that you need. So guys, I am not going to spend time trying to fill up this circle. But I'm just making sure that I'm getting a clean bead every time, and that when I lay it down on the silicone mat, my brush comes up clean. Now, say you're working with a brush that you keep getting the acrylic inside the brush hairs. Okay, so that brush might not be 100% Kolinsky. It might have some acrylic hairs in it, or it might have even whatever they call it, the fake hairs or whatever it called, synthetic. I'm sorry, I kept saying acrylic. Synthetic hairs in it. So what do you do if you have a brush like that? You want to take the brush, you want to take a cuticle pusher, and you want to lay the brush down, and you just want to push the acrylic out of the brush to get it clean. And then you want to take the brush, dip it into monomer, and keep wiping it on the paper towel in the shape of the brush until it comes clean. And you might have to do this throughout your application if that's the only brush you have. But if you have a 100% Kolinsky brush, then swap out your brush that's causing you issues for a brush that won't cause you the issues. Because a lot of times, your application really depends on the products you use, from the powder to the monomer to the brush. If your brush is not good, your application probably it's gonna cause you problems. If your powder is not good, then you're gonna have problems. If your liquid is not good, you're gonna have problems. So it's almost like a puzzle. Everything have to work in order for everything to fit. So with acrylic, it has everything has to work in order for it to all come out. But hey, as we always say in this nail game, everything can be fixed with filing, shaping, and buffing. So y'all will see my applications are not flawless. I am trying to get there. And one day I will. But it takes practice. And with that being said, this week's videos are dedicated to where it all started and where my passion for nails came from and who motivated or inspired me to do this. And today my nail sister shout out goes to Get Nail 32, which is Natalie Carmona. She's Get Nail 32 here on YouTube. She also has an Instagram channel as well as a TikTok, and she's into so many things. I remember when I first started watching her, and to see her progression even in this short amount of time that I've been watching her. It ain't been short for her, but for the time that I've watched her and seen her growth, it's been amazing to see. And it inspires me every day to keep pushing, because you got to start somewhere. Everybody is not going to get to the top overnight. Some people can, not everybody. You have to work hard at it. And if you commit yourself to hard work and dedication, it can happen for you. And so I am inspired by women like Natalie Carmona, Getting Up 32, from her journey where she started and being very informative and giving so many good detail and instruction on trying to help beginners get started. She is one of the many YouTubers that helped me along this journey and made me want to do what I'm doing now, and that was to do nails. And so my shout out goes to Get Nail 32, Natalie Carmona. There's nothing I need to say about her because you know her. We all know her. I'm sure most of you did watch her or have watched her or even currently still watching her. And she probably inspired you too. So I will leave her information in the card, which I probably don't have to, but I will. And I just want to say thank you, Natalie, for all of the hard work and dedication you've shown this community of women. We are inspired by your progression. We inspired by your journey. And hopefully one day we all can be where you're headed and where you're going. And I wish you nothing but great successes on your journey. And yeah, keep rocking it, because I enjoy your content. We enjoy what you've done, and I appreciate watching the YouTubers that started this journey, and it probably wasn't as loving. The community probably wasn't as loving on your start. Things have changed, and people do change over time, but we are, I am, as a YouTuber, happy to have came across your channel, got to know you as a YouTube content creator, and I appreciate you helping me along this journey with all of your techniques and all of your skills and everything you showed me. Alright guys, so getting back into the nails here. So as you see, I am just building up this nail here. And I'm just trying to build the nail the best way I can. I'm looking at every side of the nail, and it got lots of issues right now, and I need to fix them. So you're going to see me doing that. You're going to see me fixing this nail. Now, guys, this is my Ready Guana practice hand, and I remember when I purchased a practice finger, that I purchased a practice stand for my finger. So you're going to see me grab that stand here in a little bit, because I'm going to be thinking to myself, why are you working so hard? Because it's so hard to try to do a finger holding the finger. because you really need to be able to maneuver the finger. Look at every side area, of this finger, to make sure you're not just placing product on one side of the finger, or you got more product on one side and not on the other. So when you're doing nails on yourself, or doing nails on your cousins, friends, whoever is allowing you to practice on them, or even if you're a nail tech like me and not practicing. If I'm practicing, I better not be doing, don't even be touching them. But when I'm doing my clients and they're sitting in my seat, I need to move that hand. I need to move that finger around. I need to see every area of that finger. I need to see where that product is at and how is it building up on the finger. Now, usually when you're using any type of color acrylic, you want to use it to its thinnest layer, and you want to use your color to build up the structure of the nail and the strength, which is the apex and the strength of giving that structure and strength of the nail. But I'm using my cover acrylic, so I'm going to build up the nail using my cover acrylic, and I'm not even going to touch the clear acrylic, because when you're using cover powders, it's really totally up to you and how you choose to use your products. But I just build it with my cover colors. I'll build up the nail with my cover colors if that's all I'm using. That way we eliminate the whole process of me going in. Unless I was encapsulating something, or unless I saw some more lumps and bumps and things that I need to smooth out, then most of the time I'm just going to use the cover acrylic, build up the nail, file the shape, and get it to how I want it to look. So here you see I end up getting my practice finger stand. And now I'm going to work on the cuticle area. So I'm getting the smallest bead I can get. I'm not getting the large bead, and I just want to place it down and push up. So I'm using the tip of my brush to push the product towards the cuticle area. So I'm just pushing, I'm pushing enough, and then I'm going to start blending. You don't want to push it where the product start to separate from itself, but you just want to push it up enough to make sure you're getting a smooth coverage at the cuticle area. So, I know that you can still see, according to this practice finger, you can still see a little bit of an open space. So I'm going to grab another small bead here, and I'm going to go in. I'm going to push the finger down, because it's better for the finger to be down so everything can flow down and it not flood the cuticle, and the product go where you need it to go. Now, I want to make sure my bead is not too runny. I want to make sure my bead is not too dry, and I'm doing that same process again. And I'm just taking the tip of my brush and I'm going around just to clean off, give it a good clean around the cuticle and the side walls of the nail to make sure everything is where it needs to be. Now, as I've stated many times before, guys, this is Acrylic 101. I'm not perfect. My application by far is not perfect, but this is just how I like to practice, and it's just something I said, well, it'll help somebody, because I was helped. YouTube, me watching these ladies and I am shouting out this week, they are the reason why I said I can do this, because they didn't come out here saying, oh, this is how it's supposed to be done. They came out here saying, let me show you how it's done. And I have beginner series to show you step by step. And I know that probably was hard for them, because half of them already was in their business. They already was doing nails, have been doing nails for years, taking clients for years. But they gave something to the community that was needed, and I'm hoping now I'm able to do the same. I'm giving something to the community that can help the next nail tech coming up, or the next nail enthusiast coming up, or the next person like me that's watching YouTube and saying, I want to do this, and I hope that I can do this, and know that it's not going to always be perfect, but with practice you can get where you need to go, and you can and you can get to that place where you're proud of you. And that's all that matters, when you get to the place where you're proud of who you are and what you're doing and what you're about. So this Acrylic 101 session, if you guys enjoy this session, give me a thumbs up. If you've been here and you've not yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. This is the kind of content I hope to bring to you guys. If this is something you're interested in and you like, I do a lot of things on my channel. I do all genres. I'm not on one genre. I do acrylic. I even do polygel. It's not my favorite, but I do it. And I've also done it on myself here on my channel. I do hard gels. I do builder gels. I do the dupe spray methods. I do I do everything, guys. I mean, I do sculpted nails with nail forms. I do everything. So if you like what you see and you've not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you be a part of the Nail Genie family. Also, turn on that bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And leave a comment down below and tell me, guys, if this is something you liked and this helped you, and would you be interested in seeing more detailed videos like this, showing you whatever genre you want to learn. We will always call it a one-on-one session, because until I feel comfortable and feeling like I am at a place where I got this down pat, I don't ever want people to think that whatever I put on my channel is the holy grail. It's not. It all can be tweaked. You may know more than I do. You can show me and give me pointers. But I'm just here to create content and help somebody along the way, as well as help my own self along the way and get better for myself as I grow as a nail tech. So so guys, I appreciate you all. I love you very much. Thank you to all my subscribers that has been with me and rocking with me from beginning. All my new subscribers that is joining my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you. I know you're gonna love it here, and I am gonna love having you here. Guys, I just love this nail community. It's a great community full of beautiful talent. I've never seen such amazing talent. Women and men that can lay acrylic and artwork, and oh my God, I'm just so honored to just be a part of this community. And yeah, there's nothing else I can say, but I appreciate you all. Here, guys, I'm done with the application. I'm not going to do the shaping and filing. If that's something you want me to do on my channel, or you want to see something detailed like that, just let me know and we can do that. But I am showing you guys here how I check my brush to make sure it's clean. And what I do is, once I'm done with the application, I just take my gloved hand, and I say my gloved hand now, and I work the bristles to see if any acrylic is in there. And once I get all the acrylic out of the brush, I dip it into the monomer, and I just twirl the brush just to get the brush back into the shape I like. And then I just store my brush upside down and let the rest of whatever is in the heel of the brush flow down. So, and then I just put all my products away. I am going to take everything that's damp, and I'm just going to roll it all up in this paper towel. I'm going to take those little acrylic pieces off of my mats. And I'm going to take my glove and I'm going to just roll my glove up with those monomer soaked paper towels as I'm releasing, and just taking the other glove and rolling it, and rolling that my left hand over to my right hand glove, if that makes sense. I don't know. I hope you saw me. I can't describe it, but it's something I learned in school as well. To discard my dirty towels. Or you can put it in a Ziploc bag, a small Ziploc bag, or some old Ziploc bag you might have got from some product. I like to keep those when I get stuff. That way I can put old dirty monomer towels in there, and it eliminates that odor so much so when you putting them in your trash can. So I'm just taking a cuticle stick and I'm just hitting that acrylic, and I'm just going to pop those things off of my silicone mat here. And then I'm going to take a Lysol wipe, and y'all not going to see me do that. I'm going to probably end the video before y'all see me do that. But I'm going to take a Lysol wipe and I'm just going to clean my mat really, really well. Clean the surface up really good. And then, yeah, back to doing something else. So guys, I'm going to shape and file this nail, and I'm probably going to do a little bit of nail art on that nail, but it's just a nail to have around for even trying something different. I think what I did on this nail was a Louis design. I've been watching Tino. If y'all don't know who Tino is, check him out over on Instagram. I've been watching him with some nail art classes, and I've been trying to get better with this nail art. So, until the next time, guys, poof, the Nail Genie, she's out.